Stepping out of the anime conversation for a bit, I really wanted to talk about certain topics that I feel, may not be in the, the public eye at the moment, and may just be on the side or even kept underneath the rug. But I really wanted to talk about this because as a movie and TV watcher and a music listener, the recent news that's hitting the waves really affecting my decisions of whether I should partake or, get involved in certain things. And as I, go and continue in this video, you probably see what I'm talking about. But as in what I'm talking about, should we, as a community, as a civilization, as a society, should we continue to watch or listen a type of media when one of the people involved in it has done some type of crime, has done some type of taboo, well, it's not taboo, it's crime, it's certified crime, has done something where they've been prosecuted or where they've been basically shunned out the public scene? Now, there are many examples that we could go through, but I've sort of just kept to the ones that I can remember straight off the bat. You have probably the most prolific. You have Harvey Weinstein. He was essentially the catalyst for the Me Too movement. And if you don't know who that is, he was, I think he was like a big behind the scenes movie guy. I'm not sure if he was a director or just like the head of like a big movie company. But this happened, maybe 2018, 2017 maybe, where people, when I say people, I mean a large amount of women came forward and basically outed him and made light of his, YouTube gonna demonetize him. I'm not getting paid. Wait a minute, I'm not getting paid. Why am I worried? Yeah, he sexually assaulted these women. Plain and simple. He would, maybe if there was an actress, tell them, oh yeah, you want this bit? It comes from an audition. 2 a.m. my hotel. Or come by yourself. Me and you will have a conversation about it. And then he would assault them. And this was kept quiet behind the scenes, and the women went on to act in his movies. It wasn't till 2017, 2018 when they came forward and exposed him. He was arrested, I think, maybe earlier this year, if not late last year. And he was charged, and I think he's currently serving time. And when that hit, it set like ramifications. There were people being exposed left and right. People who seemed like the typical nice guy would just be exposed and hung out to dry. But related to, actually, one small tangent. When I've watched like interviews about this, when I watch news segments, people just talking about it, there's a lot of repeated things, such as people knew this was going on for years, but kept it quiet. They didn't report it, they didn't say anything, but they just kept it quiet. And that speaks on two things. Either the unwillingness to do what's right, or the fear that Weinstein had cultivated in where he was nearly untouchable. He was nearly untouchable, and if these women did not come forward, nothing would have been done. So I just want to speak on that just for a little bit. But related to my first query, Harvey Weinstein's company is responsible for a load of movies that we've watched. a load of movies. And relating to what I've just asked, do we then stop watching these movies? Do we then blacklist them, block them from being viewed or seen? I mean, you see some of these movies: Untouchable, Lord of the Rings, Django Unchained, Good Will Hunting, The Hateful Eight, Scream, Kill Bill, Inglourious Basterds, flipping Paddington Bear. He is responsible for so many movies. It's a gay movie. Well, maybe not him directly, but his, movie company is responsible for some very good movies. I mean, okay, Spy Kids is a banger. The King's Speech, Halloween, Aviator. These are some good movies. But because of what he's done, and the fact that these movies helped him to do what he's done, do we then say, you know what, we're never seeing these movies ever again? This is the last time. And we put them in a vault and we never speak on it ever again. Ever. Let's do another example before we answer that question. Probably the most shocking one to me, Drake Bell. Drake Bell, for those who don't know, he starred in a show called Drake and Josh. They were step-brothers who argued, fight, but they still love each other. I remember that was my childhood. Drake and Josh. And Drake went on to release some music, started some, Nickelodeon movies, and yeah, he was somewhat successful. Recently, it's been discovered that he apparently assaulted a child. He's assaulted a child. Now, should we, again, blacklist Drake and Josh? Blacklist any other movies that he started? Blacklist his music? Let's bring another example. R. Kelly. R. Kelly is a singer. If you don't know who he is, he's released a bundle of songs. Happy People, Step in the Name of Love, Ignition, that series he did, Trapped in the Closet, Bump and Grind. He's released some bangers. Real bangers. But guess what? Not only did he sexually assault women, he kept them captive in some type of weird sex underground cult thing. He would recruit them, bring them to his house, and they would never be allowed to leave. He just recently got charged. But again, do we lock off his music? Do we boycott it? Do we tell off people who play in their clubs on the radio? What do we do? The last example I'm going to name is Kevin Spacey. He is a famous actor. He was considered one of the best actors around today. And it turns out he was involved, air quotes, involved with little kids. He was actively involved in stuff with little kids. I mean, this cat's been around for years. Years and years and years. But I think he was arrested. I'm not too sure. Or he's being sued, one of them. But again, I'll ask the question. Do we put all of the good movies he's done in a vault, lock it up, and we never see it again? Movies like A Time to Kill, The Usual Suspects, Seven, what was that? House of Cards. They had to change House of Cards because of what he done. Because they fired him. He couldn't come back. The Negotiator is a good movie as well. I just watched it the other day. Really good movie. But again, do we drop all the work that these people have done in order to show, look, you can't get away with what you did? Now, it's a hard answer. It's a hard question to answer, because in the short form, right, if we watch these movies, listen to these songs, get involved in what they produce, we are telling them that, yeah, sure, we don't agree with what you did. There's some money. Continue making your money. There you go. That's fine. But it's more complicated than that. Because it's not just them in the movies or them making music. There's people behind the scenes. There's people who, like, for, Drake Bell, Kevin Spacey, Harvey Weinstein, there's other actors involved. Not in the allegations, but in the movies. Other directors, producers, people working on set, people catering, makeup, wardrobe, whatever. There are people behind the scenes working on it that are not in the know. And if we ban the work that they're doing, that's a discredit to them. It's a discredit to them. You think Samuel Jackson knew about this? You think Samuel Jackson knew about Kevin Spacey doing what he was doing? I highly doubt it. I know Peter Jackson didn't like him when he's making Lord of the Rings. You think Uma Thurman knew? What's that guy's name? John Travolta? You think he knew? Jamie Foxx? Quentin Tarantino? They knew nothing. As far as we know. But to then be like, yeah, you know that movie you're in? No one will ever see it again. It's a shame. It's what's the word I'm looking for? A discredit to their work. And the only one that should be punished right now is Harvey Weinstein. And don't get me wrong, he is being punished, he's being prosecuted, he's been convicted. But I don't know. For the longest time I've been, sort of awkward when R. Kelly pops up on my playlist, or I see Kevin Spacey in a movie, or someone shows me a clip of Drake and Josh, and I just feel awkward. Like, should I be watching this? Should I be laughing? Should I tell him what he's doing? Should I tell him off? Well, I feel that we have to learn to, I was gonna say we should learn to separate the artist from the work, but what if the work helped the artist to do what they were doing? So that in itself isn't easy. Maybe one solution is to ensure they don't see any profits from any of their work, any credits, and we literally just blacklist them. I mean, that's what we do in terms of society, but I feel like, putting the credits is just a black bar. We don't know who. If we have to re-edit some, if they're not a big part of it, edit them out. In terms of music, they don't see any profits. Send it to the victims. I feel like that's the only way we could do this responsibly. But yeah, that's just my opinion, and let me know what you think.